I quit and you can too. Have you noticed how many people have quit their jobs lately? 4 million people in the US quit their jobs in April of 2021, and millions have said they're seriously considering quitting their jobs. Would you like to join us? So I thought I'd make a video about how I quit and how you could quit too.
It's a sign of the times. Employees at this Nebraska Burger King telling customers, we all quit. And it's not just happening there.
After you left, a bunch of your colleagues left too?
Well, there was 23 of us and 20 of us quit.
Ashley Wyrick left her fast food job in Oklahoma in June.
I couldn't do it. I could not work for somebody that treats their employees that way any longer.
And days later,
I immediately found another job after I quit.
she had a new job at a call center with better pay. As businesses reopen and the economy takes off, employees have options.
This is a moment of employee empowerment, worker empowerment that we haven't seen for a long time.
It's being called the Great Resignation. In April, a record 4 million workers quit, and in May, another 3.6 million. Some putting off leaving their job during the pandemic. Others are burned out after the last year. And some saved money working from home and have a financial cushion to try something new, like Natalie Nichols.
And what happened?
The pandemic happened. I had a lot of free time to think what I truly valued as a human being. And that all came down to my own personal freedom. And I love working remotely.
She decided to quit her corporate marketing job after her company announced she'd have to return to the office.
Welcome back, Hopeful Tribe. If this is your first time here, this is a community where you can get comfort, coping skills, and coaching anytime you need it. If you're willing to lend hope to anyone who needs it, please join us and touch the like button. When the pandemic started, I was about to launch this YouTube channel, but I didn't have a lot of money in the bank and my independent income all dried up overnight. And so I had to get a job. And after I accepted it, I told them I'll probably only be here for about a year because I prefer to be self-employed and I have a business venture I need to get back to. So I worked there for 11 months and then I quit. I quit 1 month earlier than I had planned because my health was starting to be negatively impacted by safety issues at work. If there are safety issues where you work, it's time to make an exit, at least an exit plan. If at all possible, just leave. It's not okay to have an unsafe work environment. And for me, what happens if I'm in an unsafe environment is my blood pressure goes up and my weight goes up, and it's just a horrible cycle. I wanted to share with you some of the reasons I've heard in the dozens of I quit videos that I've watched that other people have quit too. So your health is being negatively impacted by your job. Clearly, that was one of my issues. Then it was really time to go. And I have seen people stay in really toxic work situations way past when they should have, and you won't like the outcome. If you're finding your health start to be negatively impacted, at the very least, make a plan to exit. Life is too short to be unhappy most of the time. So you've probably done the math and you've realized that most of your waking hours are spent at work, and life is short. If you don't like what you're doing, it's time to go, or time to make an exit plan, like I said earlier. Freedom, flexibility, and fun are great for your health. Human beings are really not meant to sit in a cubicle and stare at a screen all day. It's really not the way we're built. And so freedom is something that I think a lot of people quit their jobs over. They wanted to be able to get up whenever they felt like it. And you could do this by quitting your job and becoming self employed, or you could search around for a job that would give you a lot of autonomy and the freedom that you're craving. I think one of the things that employers are going to need to do, given that people are quitting en masse and saying enough is enough, is they're going to need to start being more flexible and allowing more people to work remotely who don't need to be in the office, and giving people more flexible schedules so that they can be there for their kids or their partners or their families. Another reason that people have been quitting is because it's easier and less expensive than ever before to become your own boss. So, whether you're going to do gig work or independent work, there are so many more options than there used to be. And it really won't take that long to set up. So, because it's easier, more people are going for it. We are human beings, not human doings. I'm so glad that so many people are realizing that they are enough, that they don't need to be doing anything in order to be worthy of existing on the planet. I think that there's so much pressure out there to be busy, 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 and people lose sight of their own inherent value when they're busy all the time. So, this is one of my favorite reasons that people have been leaving their jobs. If you want to join a group of loving and conscious humans, please touch the like button. Drum roll, please. Here's the part you were waiting for. How? How? How can I quit my job? Number one, develop your spiritual connection to your higher power. If you don't have one yet, first pick one, decide what it's going to be, and then spend as much of your free time as you can developing that connection. For instance, if your higher power is going to be nature, then spend as much time in nature as you possibly can. Just stare at a stream or at the ocean, or go walk in the forest or a park, even. Just spend as much time as you can in nature, because my experience has been that with a strong spiritual connection comes strong guidance, clarity, and trust. Ah. So develop your spiritual connection to your higher power. It will make all of your future decisions so much easier, because you're going to feel guided and you're going to trust in that higher power, and nothing in life is going to feel that scary anymore. Okay, how number two, a 3-part how. And which part you choose depends on how strong your connection is to your higher power. All right. Get good at managing your fears and anxieties, or surround yourself with a very solid and supportive community, or have enough money to hire a 24-hour handler. So, the more trust you have in your higher power, the less you have to work at this. Also, the more community you have, really supportive community you have, the easier this is going to be. So, if you have a lot of money no worries. You can just hire a 24-hour handler and they will manage your fears and anxieties about being outside of your usual structure. I would highly recommend working on getting good at managing your fears and anxieties and building a solid and supportive community before you quit your job. That's going to help a lot. Next, another 3-part how. Do your best to keep 6 months worth of living expenses in the bank, or keep 3 months of living expenses and have reliable gig work or independent income. Something that, unless there's a pandemic, you can pretty much count on. Be great if it's even accessible during a pandemic. For instance, I've started doing life coaching online from my website, and it's awesome because I can do it from anywhere as long as I have an internet connection. Or $500 savings and a lot of trust. Now, you might be wondering, why $500? If you have lots of trust and you have this great connection with your higher power, shouldn't you be able to just walk away from your job and not worry about it? Well, yes, ideally. But I feel like even $500 might prevent your making some kind of desperate move in a bad moment. Like, let's say, for instance, you talk to your mom and you tell your mom, I just quit my job. And she tells you she thinks you're crazy. Now you might start to feel insecure and you might start scrambling to figure out how you're going to raise your next month's rent. Well, if you have some money in the bank, that's going to keep you from doing anything too desperate. Are you ready? Do you think you'd like to join us and quit your job? If so, comment below what your exit plan is. Welcome home, Hopeful Tribe. I hope to see you again soon.